Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
All right. Hey, guys. Welcome back to our show. I'm your host, John Harcar, and I'm here today with Ben Bolingbroke. And what we're going to talk about, besides his journey in real estate and business, we're going to talk about off-market acquisitions, finding them, and maybe tools and tricks to find, the better deals. Guys, remember, here at Investor Fuel, we help real estate investors, service providers, really all real estate entrepreneurs 2 to 5x their business by providing tools and resources to grow that business they want to grow, which in turn helps them, live the life they've dreamed of. Ben, man, welcome to our show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's excited to be on here.
Yeah. I look forward to talking about, how you're doing your off-market acquisitions. I do off-market stuff, so I'm definitely, eager to find out what you're doing.
Yeah.
But before we get into all that kind of stuff, why don't you tell our audience, a little bit more about you, kind of your background in business and in real estate, and, what got you to today?
Yeah, so I kind of have a interesting story. I definitely didn't take a traditional path into real estate. I started college wanting to be a doctor. And, obviously that didn't work out. I got good grades and everything, but during my time at college, I started doing door-to-door sales, and that gave me some good money to then start investing in real estate, and I got around a few people that I worked with that were buying properties. So I bought a few rentals during college, and I just, kind of fell in love with real estate. So I started wholesaling and, trying to look for other ways to make money within real estate and going to different meetups. And eventually did graduate. I graduated with a degree in biomedical engineering, but I don't really use that degree. So, right, I just, chose to kind of go full on into real estate since graduating. So
that's awesome. If you've watched any of my podcasts, I like to talk about the journey and how it all started, because there's a lot of knowledge and good information in that. Was there anybody in your past, anybody that was maybe a real estate agent, a landlord, some type of influence in your life in the real estate space?
Yeah, I'd say mainly it was those door-to-door guys that I worked with. Before doing door-to-door, I had never even thought that it was possible to buy a property at 22 years old. It was just something that hadn't crossed my mind. I thought it was something you do in your 30s. And I had got around other young guys that were buying real estate and had rentals and creating cash flow, and it really just opened my mind up into the world of business and real estate. And I think it does teach a good lesson that when you surround yourself with people that are doing cool things, you'll eventually do cool things.
Well, it made you want to do those cool things.
Yeah.
What were you selling door to door?
So I sold alarm systems for 3 years, and then I sold solar for another 2 to 3 years after that.
What do you think are the main traits skills, things you picked up from the door-to-door sales that helped you in your real estate journey?
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Yeah, I think probably one of the biggest things is just the ability to handle rejection. I mean, doing door-to-door sales is like you get 50 no's in one day, but if you get one yes, that's a super successful day. So just the ability to kind of churn through all the no's and not take it personally, and also the sales skills that came with doing door-to-door is super valuable in real estate.
What do you think are some of the most important skills that you learned?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely learned how to talk to people and how to negotiate and how to listen to people, and that's been invaluable in real estate. But yeah, that's definitely the biggest thing.
Okay, so you saw some of these other door-to-door guys, and they already bought rentals? Were they in the process of buying them? Did they just talking about it? Like, how did this all start to where you made that first purchase?
No, yeah, a lot of them had already bought in rentals, and they were, my age, maybe a few years older than me. And like I said, before that point in my life, don't think I'd ever met, 20-something-year-old kids that had rental properties. It just kind of blew my mind that you could be that young and buy rental properties. And I was really blessed to be around young dudes who were making good money and then also smart with their money and investing it into properties. Because there are a lot of door-to-door guys that make good money but aren't smart with their money, as you can imagine.
They're driving that nice car and they're just dumping all their money into toys and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, super nice shoes, stuff like that.
Yeah, got it. Okay, so what was your first purchase?
Yeah, my first purchase was a duplex right by the University of Utah, and I actually bought it in January of 2020, so there couldn't have been a better time to buy a duplex, because I think over the next year and a half, it actually doubled in value just because of COVID and everything like that. So I remember, I was going to school, obviously. I was looking to rent a place for like $600 a month. Instead, I bought a duplex. I only put 5% down, and I rented rooms to all my buddies, and I went from spending $600 a month to now making $400 a month and living for free. And that also just kind of blew my mind that I could even do that. That was a really good experience for me, and that also just kind of got me the real estate bug.
What were the struggles? Your first landlord, right? Pretty much, right? What were the struggles that you're dealing with having? You luckily had friends, but what were some of the things you came up against?
Yeah, no, I knew nothing about how to do repairs on a house. I knew nothing about how a house works. I also didn't know anything about how to find tenants. So it was a duplex, so I lived in the top part with my buddies, but the bottom part was like a separate mother-in-law basement. And the very first guy that I rented to, I didn't do a background check or a credit check or anything. I just was like, yeah, sure, if you want the place, you can have it. But he was actually a felon, and he totally trashed the place. He never paid rent. If I would have Google searched his name, I could have found that out, that he was a felon, but I just didn't even do that. So yeah, I learned some of those lessons the hard way about how to find good tenants, unfortunately.
Okay. And then how did you find this duplex? Was it listed, or was it an off-market deal?
No, that one was on market. I think right before the pandemic, things were kind of slow, and it was just a great deal that was sitting on the market. We got super lucky. I got super lucky.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Awesome. So how many properties have you bought since?
So right now I have 12 rentals, and that's spread across duplexes, triplex, I have a fourplex, some single families. I have Utah, Idaho, and Florida right now. So 3 different states.
Nice. Okay. What does your business look like? Is it just yourself? Do you have a team?
Very small team. So I have a VA, and I have someone that helps me with property management. So 2 different property managers. And then, on the acquisition side, I have a partner that I work really closely with. And that's about it. That's so, maybe 4 people total.
Okay. Where are you guys mainly doing? You said you're in Utah, Florida, and where else?
And Idaho. So the properties that I own,
Idaho.
most of the rentals that I own are in Utah, and then I have 3 in Idaho, and then I live and do a lot of business in Florida.
Okay. Where here? I'm in Boise. So where in Idaho? Here in Boise?
No, it's actually in Pocatello.
Pocatello. Nice.
Yeah, I think Pocatello is a great market. I love Pocatello.
It is.
Yeah.
It is, definitely.
It's kind of hidden.
Very cool. It is, and I think that's growing too. I mean, just kind of like how Boise is growing, I think that's growing almost as much. Maybe not as huge, but it's growing from the numbers I've been looking at.
Yeah.
So, where is your focus? And in a minute, we'll start talking about the off-market stuff. But where is the focus in your business? Like, if I talk to you 12 months from now, where do you want to be?
Yeah. So, kind of to tell my story a little bit more, I started wholesaling houses. I liked that. Eventually I kind of accidentally did a land deal, and it was a good deal, on accident. So after I did that first land deal, I started looking into doing more land deals, and just saw a good opportunity in land. I like it a little bit more because a lot of people who own land don't have plans for it, or they just, obviously they don't live there, they don't have a loan on it, so it's just a little bit easier in my mind to help to get people to sell their land, because it's there's not a house on it, and so
right.
I like that aspect of it. I also like that it's a lot more based off the numbers. There's really not a lot to negotiate about because there's no property on it, so you can really talk to a lot of people, make a lot of offers, and it works out. So that's kind of what I've transitioned to over the last year, is just doing completely land and not houses. And I've been working with a lot of builders and developers to find them land to build on. And I really, really like the land development plays. So you go in, buy a piece of land, maybe put in a road or subdivide it and sell all the different plots. I haven't done any of those projects yet, but I've sold land to people that do those projects, and so it's been cool to hear about the things that they're doing. So to answer your question, in a year, 2 years, that's what I would like to be doing, is kind of the smaller land development plays, developing lots for builders and doing subdivisions and things like that.
Very cool. All right, awesome. So let's talk about off-market acquisitions. Kind of what's your process? Tell me why it's important. Tell me, kind of what you look for in properties, etc.
Yeah, so me and my VA, basically we'll get a list from either PropStream or the counties that we work in. The county lists are usually a little bit more up to date, more accurate. because it's, that's what PropStream does, is they get their list from the county.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
So we'll get a list, and then we try to attack these lists from a bunch of different angles. So we'll run one list through a texting software. We use Launch Control that'll text them, and then
I love it.
if we don't hear back, we'll cold call them. So we cold call a list, and then we mark off all the people that we've contacted on that list, and then our final strategy is just to mail those people. So it's kind of funny because different people will respond in different ways, like we'll get someone that will receive a letter and they'll call us, and we'll do a deal with them, but we look back through our records and we have called them and we've texted them a few times, but there's no response, so it's it's kind of interesting to reach out to at different angles and to see how people respond, and obviously I've kind of found out that the older demographic responds better to letters, whereas a younger demographic responds better to texting and calling. Yeah. Which would make sense,
100%, right? And it's really, everybody responds to different medians, and that's really the main thing. So, is there a specific land that you're looking? So you pull these lists. I mean, you find an area. Is there a specific, proximity in a county? Like, is it close to a big city, far from a big city? Is it, a certain acreage, things like that?
Yeah, mainly it's we find the builders and the developers first, and then they tell us what they want, and then we go do their marketing for them, essentially. So that's just kind of how I see myself and my business. It's
nice.
like an extension of a building company, and we're kind of just plugging in our marketing services to a bunch of builders and developers. Yeah. So like, for example,
did you just get a list of developers in the area?
Yeah. You can use PropStream to do that, or you can just Google different builders and developers, and you just call them and try to form a relationship and see what they're looking for.
Okay. What do you find as like some mistakes people are made when they're trying to get into maybe the land business or wholesaling or just real estate as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like probably the biggest mistake is consistency, and I've even seen that in myself and my business, is that people will like cold call for a month and then they won't do anything, and then maybe they'll try to mail for another month and then they won't do anything, or maybe they'll try to door knock for a month and then they won't do anything. I mean, all the strategies to get deals are good. You just have to like stick with it and do it a lot. And that's eventually how it works. You'll get deals cold calling, but if you only cold call for a day, you probably won't get any deals. So I'd say that's probably the number one thing, is just choosing a marketing strategy and sticking with it. I know a kid here in Pensacola that all he does is he just puts sticky notes on people's houses saying, hey, call me, number. And he does a few deals a month just putting sticky notes on people's houses.
Yeah.
Well,
it's got to be proactive, man. You got to take, like you said, be consistent. I love that you use Launch Control. I mean, I knew the owner of Launch Control, Aaron, when it came out. He was part of our mastermind, and I ran my business on that thing for 3 years, doing 30-something deals a year. It's a great process, but yeah, like you said, you really got to hit all different angles. What do you figure as kind of your keys to success, and as you've been growing and building your business?
Yeah, one thing has definitely been just the sales aspect of it. Trying to connect with people on things more than real estate, because people will do business with people who they like and trust. So if you can get people to like and trust you, they're more likely to sell to you, even if you're not the highest offer. So that's definitely been one important thing. I think another important thing would be just the way in which we follow up with people. So, because we'll get deals like a year to 6 months after initial contact, and we just keep following up with people month after month after month after month. And I heard this saying, but it's like you'll never lose a deal because you like followed up too much. It's
No, never.
It's
Yeah, I
always
mean,
good to follow up.
yeah. Do you have an automation? Are you doing it through the text, or you have like automation in your CRM?
Yeah, both. So texting follow-ups, and then we'll just schedule calls. So I'll call people personally and, follow up. And people like it when you remember something about them. So like, hey, how's your son doing who was in the hospital or whatever? People really connect that way.
The human touch, man. The people want to be felt and heard, and if you remember those specific things. What advice would you give to someone looking to get into the game?
Yeah, I would say to just keep it simple. Choose one thing, one marketing strategy, and try to go deep into one marketing strategy, and just make it your own. Whether that's calling, texting, mailing, reaching out to on-market properties, MLS listings, stuff like that, and just choose one thing, go really deep into it, and surround yourself with people that are doing that thing, and you'll have success for sure.
Nice. Anything big on the horizon for you? Any big deals you're working on? Any coaching programs that you're building or anything like that?
Yeah, there's a few big land development deals we're working on right now. I'm definitely not the expert when it comes to subdividing and doing all like the wetlands mitigation and stuff like that, but I do know people who are good at that stuff, so I'm working to partner with people that are good at that stuff. But yeah, I really like Pensacola where I live because you kind of get all ranges of the market. Like if you go north, there's really cheap land and you can buy and sell cheap land. But as you go closer to the coast, land gets really expensive and you can do really big deals. So, there was a deal that we were working on selling to D.R. Horton. I'm not 100% sure if it will go through or not, but it's been a fun experience to find the land and get the plat map drawn and get the wetland studies all done and the perk test done and get it ready for a builder to buy. And that value add process that we do has obviously taught me a lot, but it's been really fun. And that deal and a few other really big acreage deals are fun to work on.
Well, cool. If there's folks on here that are listening that might want to talk to you about, your journey, maybe want to invest with you in some of these land deals or whatnot, how do they get in touch with you? What's the best way for them to reach out?
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn, Ben Bolingbroke. You can look me up. Our company is Elevate Equity Group, and if you go to elevateequitygroup.com, you can submit your info, and that's an easy way to get in touch. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook, just at Ben Bolingbroke. Very simple.
Cool. Well, Ben, man, I appreciate you coming on here and sharing all that. Guys that are out there listening, I hope you got some value. If you have any interest, please reach out to Ben. Thank you again, Ben. And guys, we'll see you on the next one.
Yeah,
Cheers.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.